Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going through my kids' playroom in the den downstairs, and it is jam-packed full of deep cleaning motivation as well as some decluttering and organizing motivation. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So this is what our den looks like downstairs before I cleaned it. Um, and we had just cleaned out our car, so there was a bunch of stuff from like trips that the kids had taken with them, kind of just thrown into the room. And I had cleaned out my daughter's room, and she had decided to move some things and get rid of a few things. So that had gotten thrown downstairs as well. So it was a big mess. And when messes are this big, at least for me, I have a hard time figuring out exactly where I need to start and the best way to do that. So I kind of look like a chicken running around with my head cut off for the most part at the very beginning, just trying to get through the initial mess. But once I start and I kind of move things around, and I will usually just sort of group things together, and then I can kind of decide from there where I need to go. But yeah, it was a total mess. So after I've moved everything that needs to go upstairs into a pile, I'm now going through it and sorting it out based on who it belongs to. So I'll make a pile for my son, a pile for my daughter, and then even a pile for me, which is mostly just like dirty socks and things that have ended up down here, or also a trash pile. And then my kids can come down and get their own things and put them away, and I will take everything else upstairs. So at least I can get that part taken care of. This TV stand is super old. It's probably at least 10 years old, if not older. And I hadn't looked in here in probably maybe even since we've moved into this house, which was about 3 years ago. And I ended up finding a bunch of board games. And if you are not new to my channel, then you would have seen my whole house decluttering video, which I'll link up above and down below, where I actually organized our board games. So I was a little frustrated when I found them, but most of them, the ones at least that were down here, my kids have either grown out of or there were pieces missing. So for the most part, it wasn't a huge deal, but there are a couple that I'm going to have to go through and add to my board game organization upstairs. after I'd finished cleaning out this TV stand, I realized that I was going to need some organization products. So after I finished cleaning it, I ran down to my local dollar store and picked up a few things to help myself get things organized in this room, which I'll show you in the next couple of clips. And so I was able to get a few things for pretty inexpensive. So just a reminder that you can get some really good products for pretty cheap, and they can be reused and all kinds of things. So just keep that in mind. Put my son's headset and controller in for the Xbox just right next to it, so that way there's a good place for him, because normally when I come down here, it's just I find them in different places. So hopefully that'll help him keep that in a safe place. And then I got these larger bins to help my daughter with her Barbie organization. And she just turned 10, so she's kind of that in between age where she's sort of outgrowing the Barbies and the dolls and all that, but she's not quite ready to part with it all. So all of this used to be up in her room, but we recently moved it down here to make room for other things that she likes in her bedroom. So I'm just gonna go through everything and get it all sorted out and then throw away the trash. So yeah. If you're new, then I just want to go ahead and take this time to introduce myself. My name is Michelle. I live in Georgia with my family. And on my channel, you will find all kinds of different types of videos, whether it's decluttering, cleaning, organizing, a little bit of decorating. So anything that has to do with being at home, you'll probably find here. And I just truly believe that our environments around us, especially at the place that we come to try to relax after work or stressful days, I really believe that our environments make a huge impact on how we feel mentally. So that is the main reason I started this channel, was to help myself become more accountable for those things, as well as provide some motivation for you, especially if you struggle with the same things I do, like anxiety and ADHD. So like I said, if you could just subscribe to this channel if you think that it would be helpful for you, I'd love to have you as part of my internet family. So I had actually forgotten, and then was reminded when I came down here to clean everything up, that there was actually a pretty large bin of Barbie stuff. So I am pulling that out, and I really just don't want that big bin down here anymore. I want to use it for other things. So I'm going to go through all of this and pull it out and organize it into these other smaller bins, and then I will move that out. So that'll give me a little bit more room to put things elsewhere down here. If you watched my whole house decluttering video, then you might recognize this blue bin. I actually had two and they were both under my sink, and I ended up reusing one in that video, and didn't have anything for this one, at least until now. And so I'm just going to use it to put all of our extra cords and Xbox stuff, which I was surprised. We had like 4 or 5 controllers and I don't know why, but we did, but I went ahead and just put them in that bin. And then I'm using these small shoebox bins that I got for $1, and I'm moving all of our Lego pieces from this pink Lego bin into these two, because I just didn't really like, the lid didn't stay on it too well, so a lot of times it got spilled. And as I was going through it, I noticed that there was some kind of sticky stuff at the bottom of the bin. And so I was pretty glad that I actually went through it and separated them into these smaller bins. So I was able to get rid of all the trash and the stuff that was not Lego stuff from that bin. And then I just was able to throw it away, because as you see, as I pour it out, like there's Lego stuck to the bottom. So I just decided to leave those there. It was not worth my time to clean. So anyway, I'm just gonna put these down here in this bottom drawer, and then I am done with the organization. Now that the initial cleaning and decluttering is done, I'm going to work my way from top to bottom of the room. So starting with the ceilings, there were a bunch of cobwebs up here, and I really don't come down here all that often. So I hadn't noticed them until I came down here to really just like go in and deep clean. So yeah, I'm going to just finish vacuuming up the cobwebs. I'm going to dust all the surfaces, and then I will vacuum the floors. You're going to see a bunch of deep cleaning motivation, so be sure to stick around to see it all. So as usual, I'm using my Mrs. Meyer's multi-purpose cleaner, today I'm using the basil scent, and it smells really good. So I will have that linked down below if you're interested. It is one of my most favorite cleaning products to use because it works really well and it always smells amazing. So I always get that lingering, fresh, clean smell. So like I said, I'll have it linked down below if you're interested. Over in this corner is where I keep our pillows and blankets that we use when we come down here. But I'm going to go through these and get rid of the ones that are old and that we don't use or smell kind of funny. And my plan is to donate those to a local animal shelter, and I will eventually get better storage for these, but until then, this little corner works. So I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but over here and on another wall, there are a bunch of like, it looks like splatters maybe or fingerprints. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Um, and usually, like when my kids come down here, they pretty much have free reign of the place when they're here with their friends. So my guess is fingerprints and probably like drinks that have just kind of gotten spilled, which is, I guess it's fine. But that's why I'm down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use, it's really hot water and like a teaspoon of powdered Tide. And I find that it works super well on surfaces like walls, baseboards, and things like that that just need a little bit of extra kick when you want to get them clean. So the next step on my playroom deep clean was to go in on the carpets with my Hoover Smart Wash, and I have the pet version. And I absolutely love this machine. I'll have it linked below if you're interested, but it is so simple to use. So when you push forward, it washes, and then when you pull back, it dries. So I'll just go over a small section like that, and then there's a button you can push that is dry only. So then I'll go back over that same section and with just the dry mode on and pull up as much moisture as possible. But like I said, it is so simple. And I will say that it's not exactly cheap, but it is literally worth every single penny that I've put into it because I use it so much. And I especially think that's true if you have a lot of carpet or rugs or just upholstery that you need to wash. It's just a perfect product. Here's what the dirty water looks like after I finished cleaning the carpet. It's pretty gross. I've definitely never cleaned the carpet down here, so I'm not surprised, but it's still just, it's nasty. So it definitely works. After cleaning the carpet, I took a small break um, just to let the carpet dry a little bit more before I could put the room back together. And so the last major thing that I want to do, I'm gonna vacuum both of the couches down here, and these are just as old as the TV stand. They're at least 10 years old. And they've been spot cleaned since we've owned it, but I've never like gone through and really deep cleaned it. So the water is going to be nasty, but once again, I'm not going to be too surprised. But I feel much better knowing that it is clean and disinfected because my kids spend a lot of time down here. Um, so anyway, yeah, it's going to be gross. So admittedly, I don't use the hose attachment a whole lot with my Hoover smartwash. So this really was kind of a trial and error for me. I've definitely never used it on any kind of couch or anything. But I did learn that if you pull back the handle and spray the solution in the water, it does a better job of not soaking the fabric completely through because I really just didn't want it super wet. Um, so you push the button and it releases the water and then it just automatically sucks it back up. But like I said, I just prefer to pull back a little bit and spray that way instead of completely soaking through. But I really think that I did a great job, and you'll see at the end just how nasty the water was. And once again, I'm not surprised, but it is still pretty disgusting. So this den deep clean and decluttering slash organizing project has been on my to-do list for a very long time. Because our garage is right off of this room. I would see it every time I walked in the door, and it was just so frustrating to me. But when projects like this come along that are just so big, it's very overwhelming to me, and my ADD causes me to procrastinate, but it also causes me to hyper focus. So once I get started, I really can't stop until it's done. So this whole project probably took 4 to 5 hours, and that was with minimal to no breaks. Like if I took a break, it was like 5 minutes. So if you struggle with like that at the same time, or with the same thing, then just know you're not alone. But I hopefully, if you have a project on your list that is large and overwhelming, this will give you some motivation to get started. Because honestly, I feel so much better now knowing that it's done. So every time I walk in the door, I don't feel that anxious feeling anymore. I feel so much better. So like I said, I hope that this motivates you to get a big project checked off of your to-do list. So while I'm waiting for the couches to dry off a little bit more, I'm going to go in and wipe down a few areas that I noticed needed a little bit of help. So like this corner of the baseboards and my Beatles poster that I need to hang up. But if you made it here to the end, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Like I said, I hope this motivates you to get something going that you need done. And please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you never miss another motivational clean with me again. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.